Welcome back to another launch sequence. I am your host, Space Tomato, or Keenan if you'd like, and this is episode 30. It's a big one. I'm pumped for this. It's been 7 months of weekly episodes, and every episode still feels like the first one, but I'm glad that everybody is still here, hanging around and listening in. This week, I have with me Citizen Kate and Sxy Biscuit, two people who have joined the game this year and have kind of taken the community by storm. People love you guys. So I wanted to bring them on and we could talk a little bit about gaming in general, Star Citizen, maybe the Burnout topic a little bit, and anything that comes to our minds. But first, how are you both doing today?
I am very good. It's Friday. It's the start of the weekend. What's not to love?
Love a good Friday.
True. I'm doing good. Yeah. I'm all right. I'm waking up earlier in the morning now, so I'm more focused.
That's good. It feels good to wake up. I mean, it feels horrible to wake up early, but then it also feels good later. I hate waking up early.
So tired for like 3 or 4 hours after I wake up now. So in the middle of the day, I'm great. I'm fine now. So
that's good. What have you guys been doing in games? Are you only playing Star Citizen lately? Or are you kind of branching out? Sxy Biscuit, I know you've been doing some Witcher, right?
So Witcher 3 been my nemesis many years. Tried playing it 4 times and I hated it. I just couldn't get into it. I knew it was a good game. I just could not get into it whatsoever. And I recently bought it on the Switch OLED and it's really good.
You see the light?
I see, like that Blues Brothers clip. I see the light. Yeah. It's just I've gone through the first area, just going to all the little question marks, and I've done all of them. I haven't even left the prologue area. It's so good.
So
I'm yeah, it's just great.
What do you think changed?
I don't know. That's the thing. I have no bloody clue. The downgraded graphics,
got
possibly
worse. Made it better. That's the secret that all the companies want to know. What happened?
So it's exactly the same game. There's no difference.
Yeah.
So I've loved it on Switch. It's a really bloody good port.
Mm-hmm.
It's made by Saber Interactive. They've all the DLC on the cartridge, and it's all one package, so you can just play everything. And it's fast loading, fast travel. I mean, it loads really great, and yes, there is obviously a downgrade in graphics, but
right.
It's still really fun to play, and it's solid 30. I just fallen in love with the gameplay and the characters so far that I've met, and I love RPGs. I mean, I think I mentioned last time my favorite ever game is Fallout New Vegas, so I'm a fan of making choices in video games and being able to do that, and the alchemy system and the crafting system's really good. So I'm just enamored with it at the moment, but 6 years late, so...
Well, there's the answer for everybody.
No spoilers. No spoilers, thank you.
Yeah, no, none from me. I actually haven't finished The Witcher. I've played through it 4 times, and I've never finished the full game. I've done the DLCs, and I've played most of the game. I just haven't finished the main story. But there is the answer for everybody. If you have a game you don't like, make the graphics work, or make them worse, and then try it again. Maybe you'll enjoy it.
Buy it on Switch.
Yeah, buy all the games on Switch. That's Nintendo talking there.
Star Citizen coming soon.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be crazy.
Yeah, can you imagine?
That would be a literal picture. It'd be 1 frame per hour. This has never worked.
1 frame per year.
Kate, do you branch out from Star Citizen much? You used to play Elite Dangerous more. I don't know if you still do, but what do you generally play outside of the big game, the big scam?
I don't actually play any. I'm the kind of, I have consistently been the kind of person that can only play one game at a time, and I get like obsessed with that one game. So when I got into online gaming, it was Arma 2, then Arma 3, and that was like a 7-year kind of period. of just playing armor with different groups. Then it was Elite Dangerous for about 2 years, I'd say, and then finally now Star Citizen. And I may dabble within the game now and again, but I just can't. Whenever I have free time to game, and especially with content creation, actually, I only really if I try and play something else, I will wish I was playing Star Citizen instead.
Yeah, I get that. I also get that when it comes to making the videos, it's like you have to shift your brain to a different game. I mean, Sxy Biscuit, I'm sure you deal with that because you do a lot more variety, I think, than both me or Kate do. Do you find it difficult to like go from one game to another and you're not necessarily aiming to put out the content, but does that get confusing at all? Does it throw a wrench in the process?
No, I've always played a lot of games at once, so the thing with me is play a game for too long, just one game, I get bored. And that happens with everything. So I will jump between New Vegas and Skyrim recently, and Witcher now, and I'm jumping back now into Star Citizen. So I find it easy to do, but I know people do struggle to do that, and that's fair enough. But it's I like playing different things, but there's too many games, isn't there, really?
Too many games. That's the crazy.
Too many.
Like 15 years ago, it was like, okay, there's like 4 good games I want to play. But now, you'll talk to your average gamer and they'll have like 40 games in their Steam wish list or something. Yeah,
how many games do you have on Steam right now?
Me? Oh gosh. Mine's actually not that bad. Mine's probably at like 15 maybe. I don't actually play that many games. I'm more like like Citizen Kate, where I'll pick up a game and generally play that only for like a month or two. And even then, sometimes I just get hooked. Like 2 or 3 years ago, I found Civilization 6, and it was like 600 hours in the first year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so that was like all I was playing.
I've just looked it up, and I have 1,272 games owned on Steam.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god! Wow, that's amazing.
You could fill up a whole server bank with that.
Wonder I'm poor.
I'm guessing you haven't played through all of them.
Not that I remember anyway. No, there's a lot of just bundles I've bought. I guess.
See. Yeah. I got a backlog to go through.
Yeah,
that's kind of what happens. You end up with this huge list of games that you want to play, like you were saying, but there's too many. Don't know what to do.
I've just logged in to check this now because I was curious. I have 67 games apparently, but honestly, I don't remember playing 67 games.
Yeah,
just happen to seem to own them.
Yeah, I've definitely
only 2 more, and I could have said nice.
Missed out on that one. Go download 2 games.
Yeah, go buy some.
So you mentioned that if you play one game for too long, you start to kind of get over it, Sxy Biscuit, and that sounds like something that might have happened to Star Citizen. And we kind of, last time we were talking on this podcast, we were talking about a lot of the positives and the great things that draw people to Star Citizen and keep you playing. But most people at least, go through a little bit of a burnout period. Would you say that you kind of hit a wall there at some point?
Yeah, I think we mentioned it when we talked afterwards, and I think I brought it up. I was worried I was going to get like that.
Yeah.
And in about a week it happened. So
you spoke it into existence.
It literally did. It was, I see a game and I'm like, I think the best way to explain it is on YouTube, a game but it stops being a game and becomes work. For me, I don't want that to happen because I love Star Citizen. I love the games I've played, and the same thing happened with Kingdom Come, and the same thing happened with Mafia. It's hard as a content creator because people are expecting you to keep uploading the same game. As a content creator, sometimes that's not viable because you won't have the energy there. If I sit there and I'm like, right, I got to play Star Citizen today, I've got to record a video. There's this build up of anticipation, and and you go to play it, and it's like, I don't have the love. I guess I do have love for Star Citizen, but I didn't have that passion to make a video. You know, I wasn't like, oh, I wonder what I can find today. I didn't have that. It had gone. It had just completely wrapped away. So that did happen, and I'm back. I released a video today. I'm back now, but I'm going to try and take it. I'm not going to try and do a video every other day like I was, because I think that was my problem.
It sounds
but
tiring.
Some people can upload videos like daily, and that's amazing that they can do that.
Yeah, I'm always impressed by anybody who can do more than one video a week.
Yeah. So yeah, burnout is real, and I think people who don't do YouTube, people who aren't playing games for content creation, don't notice burnout, but I think everyone goes through it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't pick up on it. They're just like, oh, I want to play something else now. But burnout for us, I think, is a bit more substantial, and I want to bring the best. I want to bring the best. Sorry, my words. I want to bring the best content that I can, and I don't feel like I could do that if I was faking it.
I get that, and I agree. People, everybody goes through burnout in some way. Definitely, Star Citizen, I think, is a pretty big culprit of that too. It's a game that you sort of have to bang your head against if you want to play regularly, and a lot of people get a little bit annoyed with that at times. But Citizen Kate, you were saying that you found this good balance where you just are getting into the game, filming whatever you're doing for fun and having fun with it. So you haven't really run into that problem yet, right?
I do want to. I wouldn't say I suffer from burnout. I do try and pace myself with. I try and do 2 videos a week, sometimes 3. But if I'm doing 3, I agree with Sxy Biscuit. It becomes grueling at that point because. Mm-hmm. Like to do the videos, the kind of videos I do, and I'm sure the videos that Sxy Biscuit does as well, because I've seen her videos and there's a lot of editing involved. And you can make a 20-minute video that takes you like 10, 12, 14 hours to edit together. So it's like, I always tell the people I'm playing with that like about 50% of my time has to be spent editing. And what I find helps with that process is because we do go out and we try and we set up situations where they'll just be fun and we play them out for fun. But I'm very specific or careful within my org that my little inner circle of people, they all have the understanding that I do need to get something out of it as well. I need to end the day with something that I can put in a video. Mm-hmm. So they and thankfully, like my little group, the raccoons they're called. They're very, very good. They're very, very good at understanding that and working with me on that. Last week, I had to do a bit of a catch-up, and I did 4 videos on that. Oh, my God. It almost killed me, honestly, yeah. It when you're doing it at that pace, like you're finishing a video, you're uploading it, and immediately starting editing on the next video. Mm-hmm. That's the point where, yeah, oh, my God, it becomes something else altogether. Yeah. But I also find that again, I play very much mostly in groups. I always, almost everything I'm doing is with people from our org. So I tend to find there's a lot more video of it that I've recorded than I can edit in a given time. So there's always stuff like if I don't play over Christmas now, I've got 5 or 6 different things I can edit together into a video to cover the holidays.
That's really cool because I think that speaks to the content that you make, both of you make, actually. It's different from the content that I make, which I feel is more time sensitive. So I'm quite jealous of that because I don't like having to make a video based on the time that it comes out. And I think that's something that happens a lot with Star Citizen because a lot of the content is so based on like the features and the development and that kind of stuff. But you both make things that are more narrative focused, character focused, story driven that you can kind of shoot, sit on for a couple of months and then put together into a video like you're talking about. Do you feel like Star Citizen is going to kind of head more in that direction for a lot of people?
I have felt the pull of what you're talking about. Like I did a cinematic on the clouds of Microtech because I thought, well, I can already picture out what the video would be and thought, well, it's like a new thing. It'll get lots of views. But generally, I'm kind of, I feel like I'm too slow off the mark to catch those kind of watershed moments. And I have to fall back on, yeah, Billy, I can understand. Yeah. Especially for you guys when you have to stay on top of it constantly. It definitely is comforting to kind of be able to put things in your back pocket, but it's also then there's two things that I feel like happen. There's two things I feel happen when you sit on something for a little while. One is you come back to it with less enthusiasm than if we do some crazy event and then the very next day I'm editing it together. I've got all of the enthusiasm from that event still in my mind. I know where all of the kind of fun moments are. If I come back to it like 2 or 3 weeks later, as I'm watching through it, I'm like picking up on those things again, but it's definitely lost some of its punch.
I completely agree with you. Completely. Some of the stuff I look back on, there's only like 2 weeks old. I'm like, oh, that was crap. Why did I think that was funny? Yeah, I completely agree with you.
That's a really interesting point. That's something that I realized with the writing that I was doing. I was working on a feature video, and I was like, this was cool 2 weeks ago, but is it really worth it now? It's not exactly the same thing, but I've definitely got that feeling before. So
one thing, I think YouTube content ages so quickly. I think that's the biggest problem, because it's like a video goes out, gets the views it has for a couple of days, and then it's just history. You don't see it, it's not recommended, it's not there anymore. You do need to be on the ball with that, and you need to get stuff out. And I will say I can relate to you, because I used to do patch note videos for Kingdom Come Deliverance when that was first released. I had to have those out, or edited or made before it got publicly released, because thankfully Warhorse was able to give me the heads up. But that is tough. But no, videos and topics, the internet, like a week ago was like 10 years.
Yeah, things move quick.
Yeah, super quick, and that really is quite stressful for content creators. Yeah.
I mean, just look at Star Citizen. The thing to talk about last week was, I mean, maybe hover tech or the Odyssey, but now it's it's Luminalia, it's 316, it's this new hover vehicle coming in. It moves very fast. You're right. So
the Jumptown news happened. Is that in the past now? Because I heard about it briefly.
Kind of. That's part of the ongoing. Because 316 hasn't gone live yet, so most people haven't even really played it. But the difference between the amount of time that, say, a video about Jumptown 2 would last in terms of reporting on, hey, this is what Jumptown 2, versus if one of you went out and made some sort of a narrative version of like a bounty hunter who went through Jumptown 2 and shot it as kind of a movie, that would stick around for much, much longer, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And so Star Citizen just feels like it is one of those games that kind of gives you the tools to be able to make more content like that than other games. Have you guys seen other games that allow for as much, we could call it role playing, but really just being able to build immersion into the content you create?
Like, I mean, to look at some of the machinima, for example, the fact that, I can't think of another game that even has like face tracking, which allows people to genuinely act out, like if they're playing a character in the machinima. I've seen a lot of games have machinima, but to have that level of control, it's unbelievable. It's remarkable. I know my experiments with this is why I don't have a working webcam right now, by the way. Is I'm looking to get a webcam to do FOIP properly. And my previous experiments with a terrible webcam that I just happened to have in the house were that it was very, very inconsistent, should we say. But it wasn't to the recommended specs of a webcam. It wasn't 60 frames per second. It wasn't the right resolution.
Right. Yeah.
But I have seen the results in machinima and even friends that we know that get very, very good results with the FOIP technology in the game. I can't think of another game that has that feature and can deliver that level of immersion in like narrative cinematic videos.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I will say with Evelyn, when I'm playing her, I'm using a 30 FPS webcam. And, it's just a 720p one, I think. It's not. It's one of the classic Logitech ones, but
Okay, yeah.
it's C920, I think. It's crap.
I think I got that sitting over here somewhere, actually.
But that's the thing. That's one thing that gets in the way of content creation for me in doing Star Citizen videos. Is one day I'll turn it on and it will be great. I can do the brain freeze bit from that video where I ate the ice cream and was like, oh, brain freeze, and my face actually captured perfectly. And then you'll have days where one eye is just closing, opening, closing, opening, and my mouth is going up like this.
I get the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to do multiple takes, like 10 takes at most, get that perfect shot. And I can imagine someone doing it in machinima must do it for hours.
Do you know, though, I will say that I think, because I've noticed that you and me, we wear very similar glasses, and I can't help but think that glasses may be playing a part in that.
I take mine off when I'm...
clever.
Yes. The only problem is I can't see. So I have to gauge if I've made the shot or not. So, no, with the glasses on, no, your eyes do go all over the place. They go up and down and left. It's terrible. But if I take them off, it does settle. But yeah, as I said, I literally can't see. So I don't know if I've made the shot or not until I'm editing.
Wow.
That is a problem. Especially if there was a joke I really wanted to make in the video and I can't use it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the... I will say, last thing, sorry.
No.
I
Please keep going.
One thing that I really do think helps, and Kate, when you start doing this, make sure to keep moving your character. Because moving, one of the biggest little secrets I have with Evelyn, she's constantly moving her head. When she laughs, she looks down so it doesn't capture not me laughing. Like facial-wise. It's all it's like a magician. It's all like secret tricks that you don't see, but it takes your mind off of her actual facial features because she's so animated with the mouse.
I hadn't thought of that, and that actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Stationary. Yeah,
my tests for like camera fixed on the face, kind of. Yes. I suppose that immediately brings any kind of like oddities into direct focus. Yeah,
like a magnifying glass. That's some pro tips right there. Sxy Biscuit, writing the book on FOIP right now. Write it down, folks. Take some notes.
Really janky FOIP. But
I mean, that kind of it's like in the spirit with Star Citizen, right? It's like you have this amazing system that is so cool and has the most incredible possibilities, but it kind of just like doesn't really quite do it.
You have to work hard to make it work.
Yeah. So looking at the future though of content, we have Grand Theft Auto is huge for kind of like role-playing, machinima style gameplay. I don't really know much beyond that, to be honest. Do you see those?
No. I was just going to say I don't know of any.
I can't think of any other major ones. I'm sure there are plenty. There's like Second Life and these different games where you're playing more of this social aspect, dare I say it, because it's 2021 and I feel like I have to, metaverse like games. But yeah, I know, right? Oh no. But do you guys see Star Citizen having the appeal to pull like that more general crowd that follows Grand Theft Auto just for the role-playing aspect? Because no, you don't think so?
No. I think that, I don't want to categorize, but I think a majority of people that play GTA Online or whatever wouldn't have the, what's the word I'm looking for? They wouldn't have the patience.
Patience to deal with this game.
It's not the game bugs or anything. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about learning everything, because you have to learn how to fly. You have to learn how to take advantage of all the different features in the game.
Yeah.
I think that Star Citizen is a very big learning curve. In a good way. I think it's very deep.
Yeah.
But I don't think the more casual player would be able to jump into that. And I think that's a negative, but I think it's also a positive because the people that do play Star Citizen have that patience, and I think they share that with us, and that's cool. And we have a nice community, and it's great. And I don't want to see like a ton of 12-year-olds running around saying swear words and slurs. It's not really. The
12-year-olds are mean. They'd be killing us.
I have noticed a distinct lack of that actually in Star Citizen.
Yeah.
It does tend to be. I mean, you get your gankers and the people who pad ram and stuff like that. But I've not noticed any, even in the text chat. It's never devolved to the level I have witnessed in some other games, which is an interesting thing to observe. But I think that in terms of like the narrative adventure, the role play side of Star Citizen, I think that it will appeal to an audience on that level. I think what's needed at the moment is, I think when Pyro comes in, that will be like a watershed moment for that, because they will then be a frontier to cross. Like right now, it's like you people like I got introduced to the game and enamored with it, and you're like, oh my god, there's all these places to visit. Yeah. And there are a lot of places to visit, and there's still places that I've yet to visit really. But I've been to every planet, every moon, and Stanton itself then feels less like some kind of great frontier. It's like you're conducting business in your hometown, if you will, and exciting things happen, and they do every day. But when there is that frontier to cross into the unknown, where everything is dangerous and you can't trust anyone, and you're not 2 minutes from home all the time, that will be a huge moment, I think, for the storytelling and for the role play and for interacting with other groups that are like not just people. Like, so we in our org, we have to, in order to kind of like put on the events we put on, we have to have people playing as the enemies, or kind of an op for side, if you will. And when you've got that frontier to cross and people are exploring it for the first time and working out what their agenda in this new place is going to be, I think that will be a truly epic storytelling period of the game, for sure.
Okay.
So excited.
So I can assume that Pyro is the most exciting thing for you next year.
Oh, undoubtedly, yeah.
It is
next year. Yeah. No, I really hope
next year is my term for the next 5 decades or 5 years. Decades.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be so exciting. Like, you will have factions that grow that only live in that star system. You'll have.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the idea of flying into that, like that. What is it, like a nebula or something, where the jump gate's going to be?
Oh yeah, like the gas clouds around the jump area. Yeah.
If people could hide in those and then come out and attack you, there are so many possibilities for storytelling in those.
Yeah, it's in
Pyro.
It's opening. That's something that I think kind of caught me by surprise, is how much emphasis they're putting on Pyro being a new system. I figured they would make a big deal out of it because it is a pretty big deal, but the way that they're framing it is almost like, it almost feels like a DLC or an expansion to a finished game, not just an update to a game in development. And
no,
I don't know if that's what they're going for exactly, but it really does come off as, hey, we want to bring a new way of playing Star Citizen. We want to kind of start over, refresh what you guys think of this game. It'd be interesting to see if they do that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, as Kate said, it's going to bring in a load of new people as well. I'm excited about that. So
I do feel, though, like it felt to me at least like at SitCon. So it was my first SitCon, and we got that amazing opening segment about Life Universe and showing Pyro, and we were like super excited, and I had to kind of remind myself, like 5 minutes into it, like, this is not right on our doorstep. This is we're not about to go to this place. It's going to be a ways off yet, and that was sad. But it will be great when it finally arrives.
It's always been the long-term struggle of Star Citizen, looking at everything and being like, all right, that's going to be a while. But it's nice. People will say, oh, Pyro's been right around the corner for years, but it's never been covered. Like, we've never seen in-engine shots of Pyro. They've never been on the planet in game. Like, they've never actually detailed the lore, the gangs, the space stations, the planets to the amount of detail that they have now. So it's definitely different. And I think everybody's kind of buzzing with a little bit of excitement for it. But with that sort of that caveat, like you said, that it's still a ways off and we don't even know if we're going to get it next year.
I was really surprised actually when they did the year in review video. So I obviously showed up midway through this year, and it's surprising. Like, well, when you join a new game and you see the features that are currently in the game, and your mind just clicks that they must have always been there. And to hear about how recent some of those features even were, it's amazing when you look at that year in review video and you see like how much progress has been made this year. And a good example from SitCon even is they showed the clouds on terrestrial planets at SitCon, and now we have them on Microtac, and it's been one patch. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good. We should talk about that. Let's talk about that a little bit, because both of you came this year. Sxy Biscuit, you came like 2 months ago into Star Citizen.
September?
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw the year in review video, but was there anything in particular that stood out to you?
I actually haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay.
Can you send me a link later, please?
For me, it was the reputation system, because that was just immediately available to me when I started the game. And that was like a patch before I joined, it turns out. And I just, in your mind, you just think, oh, this has just always been part of the game. But
you said the reputation?
The reputation system, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest additions this year, and one that kind of you forget about because it was so early. Like, we got reputation in December of last year, but they didn't allow us to actually graphically see it for ourselves until like March or April.
Ah, okay.
But you kind of like, reputation's huge. I don't do missions for anything other than reputation at this point.
Right,
and it's just it's crazy that we didn't have it a year ago. All you were able to do, because there was no wipe, so everybody had plenty of money, was just go into play to play. So that is a good addition. I like that. What are you guys looking forward to next year? I mean, we already talked about Pyro a little bit, but was there anything else that if they've talked about recently? We've got things like the planetary nav mesh and
the nav mesh for NPCs on planets, but like as an addendum to that, give me a goddamn compass and a map, please. Like, we need to be able to navigate on the ground. It's unworkable in the current situation where we've got a compass on Dragonfly now, but the Dragonfly, we are using the raccoons, the little recon element of our org. We are using the PTV to get around, because the detection range on a Dragonfly is insane. It's 12 kilometers. You can detect a Dragonfly. So we could definitely do with a map and a compass of some kind.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We were supposed to get that. I don't know if you saw that. It was on the roadmap this year. We were supposed to get FPS scanning and radar. The patch after the ship one, so that would have been 3.15. We were supposed to get it. Got delayed. Super big bummer, because like you, many of us have been lost. I remember multiple times where I would there was one time when I crash landed on a moon, and I thought this was the coolest, most immersive experience. I crash landed on a moon because my ship couldn't make it all the way to the outpost, and I had to get out of the ship and hoof it all the way to the outpost, and I could not find the outpost. I knew where it was, but there was no way for me to know what direction I was going, where I was coming from. I had to get into the star map on my mobiGlass, zoom into where I was on the planet, highlight the outpost to see what the path was looking like, and then move for 2 minutes, go back into the mobiGlass, see if that path got shorter, and if it didn't, then I was going in the wrong direction. But it was just it'd be so cool to be able to navigate on the ground. That's a huge one.
Yeah.
I think scrapping ships that you find out in the middle of space, that a feature that's going to be coming. You can tear apart ships and sell the bits and stuff. that's something that I'm quite excited about, because I ended up finding a wreck in the middle of space a month ago. That was an amazing moment, but I wasn't able to do anything with it. There wasn't anything in there. It would be really cool if I could go inside and be like, find some loot or something, or some more things like that. And of course, performance. I mean, I obviously, I think switching to Vulcan, hopefully soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. That's my biggest thing, because right now, I think we mentioned this before, but performance isn't it can definitely be better, and I can't wait for that and DirectX 12 and stuff to add it into the game.
Yeah.
And I know it's not. I don't think it's on the roadmap, but I just want. Because I don't think they've touched FOIP, have they, since they implemented it, right?
Not really, no.
No. So I think it would be nice if they could go in and just patch it up, or just add some features, just make it a bit more the word
reliable.
Reliable, yes, and consistent. That's the word.
Consistency would be nice.
Yeah, I think that would be really, really nice. But apart from that, no, Pyro, obviously. I just part of the enjoyment for me is just like seeing when something's announced and being like, oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Like thinking that far ahead. There's so many things that are on the roadmap, and only a small degree of those will be coming next year. So I'm just excited to hear what's coming next. I think that's the wonder of Star Citizen for me.
Mm-hmm.
If we're doing like wish list stuff, it would be like, so we have 2 boarding missions right now. We've got the 890 jump, we've got the Price of Freedom, which is my favorite mission, which is the criminal boarding a caterpillar mission. Yeah. I think it would be cool just to see random ships that have been hostilely taken over in Yellow's Rings or something that you can just find, and and all different types of ships. Just have ships out there that you can pull up to and take out a few fighters and board that ship and kill some people on board. That would be cool. NPCs in EVA, NPCs on the ground. I know at the minute it's like they can't do planetary nav meshes, but they could. Like, we've got a bunch of sniper rifles, we've got a bunch of long range weapons. They could just have guards stationary. They could have them on those little miniguns outside of the bunkers, or just on the little platforms. Like, I think players are more, like, I certainly am, they're more excited about something to shoot at than whether that dude is running around all different places. And
that's a good point. And the fact that they added those turrets and didn't, there's literally no reason to use those turrets unless you're shooting it yourself. So those would be great additions. And making the ship derelict, or like the ship boarding missions, like a packaged mission type, so they could just apply it to other ships like that. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'd love that.
Like having like freighters out in space that you could attack, or do they take pirates out that like take you out of warp and stuff? Because apparently that was in the game and now it isn't.
It's still in the game, and apparently there's a glitch where like they'll interdict you, but they're too slow, so they're not there when you actually drop out.
Them then.
That explains so much.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that or you're getting interdicted by wreckage or asteroids, because that's also a thing, but that's what I've seen people say.
I think that would be a really nice thing to. That's something that Elite Dangerous did well, is if it, like, the AI knows that you have a lot on board and it'll be like, kind of like hunt you down.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could be really cool if they implemented that a bit more heavily. Because if I am taking a lot of cargo, it would be nice to have to ask someone, oh, could you come with me to protect me? Because that's how it would be, right? I mean, that's
definitely.
So I think it's going to be more prevalent. I think that could definitely be bumped up, and hopefully the bugs fixed where they're too slow.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, hopefully the things like the new renderer and possibly static server meshing, what little that might do, hopefully those can lift up some of the overhead or raise the ceiling per se to allow them to put more of this stuff in. Because just like content density would be nice.
Yes, definitely.
A couple of the things you had mentioned you wanted to see improvements on. One of the things you were talking about, FOIP. Another thing that I would like to see in the same sort of strain, and I feel both of you being content creators might agree on this, is a better camera system, or at least improvements to the current camera system.
Yeah.
Because it
Definitely.
drives me nuts.
I've learned that you can apparently set favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like key bindings
F4.
for specific views.
It's never seemed to work for me. And does it reset every time you start the game?
No, it shouldn't.
No.
Huh.
The trick is like, so I learned this. I was really confused by the instructions at first. When you're setting it, you like hold F4 and you hold like the numpad key that you want to set it to. You need to hold it for a few seconds, and then when you want to go back. Yeah, because that tripped me up for so long.
Just been tapping it, being like, just press 2, like I would, like
the instructions make it seem like that, don't they? The instructions that I've read, that I was under the same impression, where it's like just push one, push the other, saves it.
Huh.
I would love to be able to detach the camera or have a stationary camera that like maybe just follows the ship, or follows what you're doing.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe set it via coordinates so you could then film a ship coming out of warp.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah. There's so much cool things that you could film in this game, but it just gets so hard. It's like the thing that drives me nuts the most is how the camera will interact with anything physical in the game. So if there's another player that runs through, if there's an NPC that keeps walking through back and forth, like, just all that stuff.
The amount of times I've had to redo a shot like 5 times because I'm doing like a kind of panning shot of my character walking through somewhere, and an NPC just happens to walk past and the camera, like jolts forward and.
Yeah.
It's
oh my gosh.
Microtech in the fitness center, whereas the people running around the course. I was filming in there, eating my ice cream for a bit of the video, and someone run behind me. The camera goes, whoop, pans out. I'm like, all right, do that again. Someone else runs past me. I was like, you come on.
Over and over again.
I'll move.
Do you know the big one for me, actually, the one that really always, so I try and get like smooth tracking shots of things. And in a ship, it's fine. The sensitivity in a ship seems to be well balanced. Now, you can't get smooth movements with a mouse, so I've set it so my stick, I can use that, even when I'm on foot, I can use my stick to kind of just very gently or just kind of smoothly pan the camera around. The sensitivity is crazy. Like I have to get the kind of slow dramatic shots that I'm after, I have to try and very, very slightly just move the stick ever so slightly. I really wish there was a way to adjust that sensitivity so that you could use the full range of the stick.
Doesn't it make you like you concentrate so hard on not trying to move too much that when you finally get that perfect rate of movement, you immediately move out of the way? Like you mess
absolutely,
up.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh my
when you're
gosh.
trying to pan the camera up with the bloody page up and page down, they go in weird increments, and it's like you push it and it's a bit too high, and then you push down and it's a bit too low. It's like you can't get it
going back and
in the
forth.
right place.
Also, have you noticed that when you so if you're trying to get a shot of, there should be a camera mode when you're in a ship that does like you in the cockpit, because if you're trying to get a shot of that, you have to get the camera in like really close to yourself and really kind of zoomed in, and then it's got this sway to it that is amplified enormously because you've got the camera so close, and it makes getting the shot. Have I used the plus and minus for the zooming? Yeah.
No, not zoom. Okay. I didn't even know there was a one for plus. But I know that there's like the GoPro camera you can press by pushing down.
Okay, yeah, no, I know.
The selfie. Yeah,
I've never used that. I've never used it, no, but I am aware of it.
There. Also, I would recommend. Sorry. Just quickly, I would recommend using a Xbox One 360 controller, because that is smooth analog movement.
That's what I use.
If you have,
okay.
Yeah,
they're very cheap to pick up, even if it's a third-party one, and just connect it to the computer and use that as a camera mover, basically, and not use it for the game, but use it as a camera mover would fix, I think, some of your issues. But I do agree with you completely. It's the sensitivity's too high.
The best.
I will have to give it a go. I know Will's got one because he's used it on his PC before, so I'll definitely give that a go.
The best part about using the Xbox controller now is I'm not sure if this is new or not. I should know, but I don't. You can, the Z key for free look toggles now. So when you have the Xbox controller, you can move the camera and change the direction of view without touching the keyboard, which is very nice. Huh. Yeah.
Wow.
Did not know that it toggles.
Yeah, I only just noticed it this week. I don't know if it was maybe a 316 PTU thing, maybe, or I'm not sure, but it's been working very well.
Yeah, been on 315. I haven't even touched 316 yet, so that might be a thing. That sounds awesome.
So these problems that we're talking about are fairly specific to people who use the camera a lot, and like people who are creating content, but also people who are taking pictures or working in some of these ship contests that they do. And like, I always look at the way that Star Citizen works in terms of marketing, and a lot of the marketing comes from the people who are making the content, which depends on the camera system, the FOIP system, like we're talking about, all these kinds of things. And I think to myself, that's never going to be false. Look at the graphics, look at the detail, look at the content that you guys are already making. This is going to be a huge part of the future of Star Citizen, using these tools. So I'm curious what you guys think of how important is it for Star Citizen, or CIG rather, to not necessarily eat into other features, but use their funds and development time to continue to build other features that make this kind of content more possible. Not just the content, but also the detail, the background for role players, the people who are taking pictures. Do you guys think that that's an important thing that they should be focusing on a lot? Do you think they should have a camera feature out next year, or should they kind of hold off on that?
I feel like that funny enough, actually, I just thought of something that would be hugely beneficial to content creators and role players that they could do I think at very little development cost. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, being a content creator, I'm going to say, yeah, they should put some time into improving the camera systems.
Yeah.
But one thing that we could really use, and especially on places like ArtCorp, for example, because ArtCorp is a very, very amazingly distinct planet with an amazingly distinct environment, very little of which we can actually make use of. Mm-hmm. They should put in some kind of like blank canvas areas, like so if they could put a location in that is kind of like the city streets of Area 18, but there's nothing going on there, that we could when there's no armistice zone, and you could go there and just do whatever. You could have a battle there, you could set up some scenes, and they could do that. This other places too. They could have a part of Lawville, for example. Again, it's just blank canvas. It's just a piece of that kind of environment that is open for anyone to use for any purpose. Because so much of the game right now is the players have got to make their own content, because like there are missions and there's the reputation and there's the background stuff. But if you want to do really interesting content, like the really interesting stuff that we've done has all been ideas we've come up with, and we put the teams together and played the scenario out. Having more environments to do that in, I think, would help with orgs. It would help with role players, with machinima makers.
Definitely.
And I don't feel like that would, I could be wrong on this, of course, but I don't feel like that would eat into development time too much if the assets for those locations already exist.
Sets, yeah. Like we could have separate sets for each area. And then we could go, yeah, exactly as you said, we could go and do different things in there and use it for filming. Also, a green screen area. So we can actually have our character. Yeah, because then you can cut out your character and have them wherever. Have a green screen wall or something, and then we can chroma key them out, you know? I completely agree with you. That would be amazing. And I don't think it would be that much work, I don't think, because there's so much stuff.
We never do.
You know?
We never do, and then they're like, oh yeah, you got to do this little thing, and they like have a whole video to explain why. Would this area have a crime stats, or would it just be like free?
No.
Well, okay, I think that again, this is dreamland now, but I think that. Well, I'm biased on this too, because my particular, like, the part of the org that I am in, of our org, is the part that goes and shuts down the comrades for the rest of the org. So we're like really accustomed to just shutting that down before we go and do anything. Mm-hmm. So to me, it wouldn't matter if it was. I'm going to use ArcCorp as an example because it is my favorite planet, and I would love to be able to do something there combat related. There's so much of the planet that I've flown down to, and there's these massive industrial areas and things like that, but you can't land there, so you can't do anything with it. But it would be amazing to do things against that backdrop.
Yeah.
So I think that there would be obviously the problem with griefers. But what if you created a separate tab in the menu, the private lobby, where it would be a YouTuber or content creator section, and it would just load. You could pick like the Free Fire, the testing out different shit mode in the main menu. You know that free flight mode, whatever. Yeah, that. But for like different sets, and then you could invite specific people into a multiplayer lobby and film all the stuff you needed to. And then you wouldn't have to worry about crime stats, and you wouldn't have to worry about people coming down and being able to get away with anything.
Yeah, that's almost.
I would.
Go ahead.
I would live that for several reasons. I mean, not least of which is that losing gear is annoying. Like I know with the new system, it's like the day one of the new. You lose everything when you die was genuinely like I played the game differently. Like I was really careful because I only had the gear that I had with me, and then I made credits that first day, and I just rose to which when I bought 20 of everything. And the only thing that's changed with the new system where you lose all your gear, it hasn't made me more cautious of death. It just means it's more annoying when you respawn because you've got to manually put everything back on your character.
Yeah.
I think that there should only be some kind of like gear insurance, which I'm certainly wouldn't go in that direction because I would probably negate the whole reason for any of that penalty. But what would be good is at least if you have everything, I think there should be like a preset loadout thing.
Definitely.
Where you go and you think, okay, I want this loadout, and as long as everything exists in your local inventory to make that loadout happen, just chuck it all on your character.
Damn, we need to send these to CIG.
I think that's
great.
Definitely something that they've got planned. I mean, it seems like they've got a lot of people who like all the systems that they see in games that we're playing all the time, like, you know, good systems, like what you're talking about. It's a really good system, find it in other games, but they can't do it because they're still building just like the super basic part of it. But I think that by the time we get the physical inventories and you go up to a locker and you press the button, it'll probably be like, oh yeah, this locker has everything, you know, that you want to put on, and it just puts it on for you.
Oh yeah,
that would be fantastic. That'd be great.
Just the idea of all, you know, like I was I bought I didn't buy it, it's in my inventory. It's the ship that looks like a Klingon warbird / Romulan thing. It's got the feathers
Prowler?
on the back.
Nice.
Maybe
The drop ship.
No, not the drop ship.
Oh.
It's the L. So anyway, one of those. But it's a fighter. But it's I was trying to find the entrance to it because I can never bloody get on ships. I'm awful at finding the door. But I was going around with all these buttons on it, and I was pushing all these buttons, and like the engine came out, and then the thrusters, like the shield generator, just popped out the side. I was like, that's great when we can actually use them.
Yeah.
Because right now we can't do anything with those. We can't repair them. A little welder tool, like from Far Cry 2, you know, just like go up to it and just prod it with your welder tool.
Well, again, it's the long-term problem with Star Citizen. You know, we see everything that we want to have, but they haven't made it yet. So we just we're like, when?
Yeah.
And they're always like, soon.
The thing is, it's ambition in a way that, like, I try and explain this to anyone that I mean, people make a fuss about the level of funding, and I think they forget that funding has, like, you spread that number over a decade, and per year it isn't so much of an enormous figure.
Yeah.
But it is ambition on a level that has never been attempted before. Like, I don't think a project of this magnitude and this fidelity, I'm not even sure it will be like attempted again. Like, to me, Star Citizen it's not just like the best game that I've played. It's the game. You know, it feels like it will be the game, and it has its moments of frustration, but they never outweigh the kind of the majesty of what it, even right now, of what it is at this moment in time, let alone what it's going to be.
That's kind of we hear that so much. Like everybody, not everybody, a lot of people who play this game will say that. You'll find that that's a pretty common opinion. This is a game that is doing things differently than anything we've seen. It's breaking boundaries. It's pushing the limit. It's just frustrating that you don't get to hear that from anybody outside of the Star Citizen circle, because you never know if we're just sitting here in a circle constantly telling each other that because we're having this amazing time and we're just tricking ourselves, or if it's actually true. I believe it's true, but my goal is to find other people who can look at this from the outside perspective and understand what you're seeing.
Yeah.
So I think that's really, it's important, not just for games, but also a lot of what's going on in tech right now. Star Citizen, I think, is doing some things that are happening outside of gaming, and we're kind of seeing a convergence. And I feel like Star Citizen is one of the places where that's happening, but nobody's really caring to talk about it that much.
There's me so much. I want people to talk about it. I want people to see it. I want people to experience it.
They're going to have to put out Squadron 42 before people take it seriously, I guess. But it sounds like you
I'm
both...
not even that excited about it. It's like Squadron 42 doesn't interest me.
The only aspect of Squadron 42 that interests me is that it means more stuff will end up in PU. That's
fair. Yeah,
that's all.
True. Also, you get that ship at the end, and that's all I care about.
Yeah, a lot of people don't care about Squadron at all, but it will validate the company in a lot of people's eyes. Once they release a game, I think that's going to be the point at which a lot of people are like, okay, this is real. Something's actually happening here.
Yeah.
I'll
Once it
check
has
it
that
out.
single player mode, it's now a packageable game, you know?
Especially if they can port it to console. Whew. Oh my gosh. That would single-handedly make people PC gamers, I think. I think they would play Squadron 42 and want to buy a PC to go play Star Citizen if Squadron is good enough.
But have they ever talked about having Squadron 42 as its own package for console? Have they ever talked about that?
They haven't talked about it, I don't think.
I think that would actually be a great marketing strategy. If they were able to release that as its own spin-off thing and be like, oh, now you can explore the entire Star System.
Well, that's how it's going to work on PC, right? They're like, play this game, you're basically acting in the military, and then Star Citizen is what you're doing after you retire from Squadron 42.
Okay.
And so, I mean, they're working with Firesprite. Firesprite is known to do ports, and they're a good developer. That's not me saying that they're going to be the ones who make it a console port, but like, I think there's definitely a possibility that could happen.
I hope so, because a lot of my comments, I see people asking if there's going to be a console release. You know, is this going to be on Xbox One and PS4? And I'm like, no.
Not that.
No. Late PS5 Series X game, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. For Squadron, but not for Star Citizen. But it sounds like both of you are very interested in sticking with this for a while. This is a game that you're going to be watching for a long time.
Oh, undoubtedly. Yeah.
It's going to go on for the rest of our lives, so we kind of have to. You know?
not gonna launch till we're grandparents, anyways.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, grandkids! I used to play this game when I was a kid.
I have no doubt. I mean, I have some doubt, but like I could see that happening. To be honest, the way that things are going. But I think this is a good time for us to wrap this up. It's about an hour, and I wanted to have you both on here to talk about the game and how you felt about some of these systems that are developing. I feel like we had an amazing talk. I hope you guys both enjoyed it. And I hope everybody enjoyed this talk who's listening live as a supporter or watching on YouTube maybe, or listening on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to the podcast. And if you don't mind, could you both tell everybody where they might be able to find you and what kind of content you're making? Get them interested. The sales pitch.
Yeah, so Kate. I am Citizen Kate, and then there's parentheses and Will, who is my husband. who occasionally does like narration and things. But according to GG360, he doesn't exist.
Not like he's on the screen or anything.
Yeah, it's not just DG360. I mean, a lot of people in the comments are like, hang on a minute.
I make kind of narrative-driven. It's gameplay video, so it isn't machinima, but there is a narrative to it, based on my org skunkworks and specifically my little recon group, the Rebel Raccoons, within that org. And like I said, that's Citizen Kate.
Cool. And Sxy Biscuit.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm the creator of the Pico the Penguin song.
It's a good song.
Hit #1 on Apple.
Top of the billboards.
I have a little request to CIG. Please make a Pico the Penguin backpack. It's for me.
Do it.
I do YouTube sometimes. I just make silly content. It's Star Citizen, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Fallout, whatever. It's my fancy. But if you like stupid, silly, random content and just to have a laugh, then check me out over there, and on Twitter at @asexybiscuit. I'm on there all the time, so thank you for letting me be on.
Of course.
It's a lot of fun. I hope to be on again.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have very much enjoyed this conversation and being on the show. Thank you for inviting me on as well.
No problem. The people who listen to this show love to hear different opinions and points of view from, especially people who are newer to the game, who have come from different games. So we really appreciate your perspectives and your time. Thank you so much for being here. For everybody who's listening, of course, I got to plug myself real quick. People clicking off. I don't like that. Stay around. This is a show that is supported by the supporters. It's ad-free on all audio formats because Patreons help to keep it that way. So thank you. If you would like to help support this, support my YouTube channel, support my family, you can find us on Patreon and support us there. We are doing a pretty big rework on that starting for the new year with exclusive videos and new stuff coming. So check it out. Just check it out. And really, that's about it for me. I don't have too much else to talk about. This is our Christmas special, I guess. Christmas is like 5 days away, so happy holidays, everybody. Whatever it is.
I need to buy presents.
Yeah, you got a little bit of time left. Just a little bit. Yeah, don't worry. At least now, we're still a week away. By the time this is live, you won't have as much time. So you got a couple extra days, but yeah, this will be our Christmas episode. Next episode is going to be a special. Me and my wife, we're actually going to sit down and talk about the brand, what's coming up next, and the next year in Star Citizen and what we saw last year. So if you guys would like to hear that, make sure to tune in. But other than that, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. Citizen Kate and Sxy Biscuit, thank you for being the guests. And we'll see you next week, guys.